Hey there, it's Denise with Modern Priscilla Tarot, and today I am going to give you a quick peek at Tarot of the Wyrd. This is such a cool deck. It was self-published in 2012, and it's by Game Crafter, is where if you're looking for it. It is still available. I did check before we started. And if you've been watching any of my other quick peek videos, you've heard me mention my mom. My mom is a tarot card reader, among many other awesome things. And she has a vast collection of tarot decks. And this is one that she has bestowed upon me. We just sat down the other day and had coffee, and my mom surprised me with a bunch of decks. So you're going to be seeing more of these cool decks I've gotten from my mom. Anyway, let me show you the box. The box is obviously a standard box. And it comes with a fold-out piece of paper, your little white book, and basically gives you, your obvious standard meanings, things like that. And also, she highlights where she kind of changes some of the names. She has cups and wands on there, but for swords and pentacles, she has cutlery and watches. So very cool. I'm going to give you a look, and you're going to fall in love with it just as much as I did, I'm sure. The backs, look how cool that is. And now let's just start here. Now, she has changed the names on some of them, you'll notice, but you'll also see a lot of the strong Rider-Waite kind of symbolism coming through on several of them, so not something too unfamiliar there. Now, here the Magician has been named the High Priest, which I thought was interesting. Says the artist is a fan of the Victorian era, which obviously you can see through the images in the cards. I have not read with them yet. I'm still getting to know them. I have a little practice that, when I get a new deck, I like to get to know it. It's like our first date. So I have to, get comfortable with it, and once my intuition is connected and sparked, and once I can connect some of the traditional meanings to the cards, especially the ones that look a little different that you would not normally expect to see, that would definitely be beneficial. Sometimes when I have a new deck, I have a Rider-Waite at all times sitting in perfect order. And when I have a new deck sometimes that has images that are not as traditional or that are not really speaking to me and I'm still trying to figure them out, I will cross-reference with the traditional Rider-Waite card. That's helpful for me sometimes. I'm very visual, and I learned on the Rider-Waite, and it's almost like a new deck is kind of like another language. I'm learning a new language and relating it to the native language of the Rider-Waite. I'm also very big on analogies. I don't know if you've ever noticed that yet. If you've been following me, you might have seen analogies and puns are my favorite. Very cool cards. I am thrilled with these. And I've just spent so much time just looking at them and feeling them. It's like I almost don't want to shuffle them up because I'm really loving it. It's kind of solemn. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I was trying to do them this way so you could have two chances to see. I apologize about that. Now we're back on track. See, cutlery. Ace of cutlery. Now some of these, and the cups too, the teacups, are used in place of like the gold goblet cups that are typically in the Rider-Waite. Really cool spin on it. Really pulls it into that Victorian feel too with the images, including the cutlery and the teacups. Yeah, this was self-published in 2012, And, you know, my mom has a vast collection, and she's been reading cards since 1989. So I have some very old decks. She also has very new decks as well, and everything in between. She's got some real traditional stuff, some real, you know, abstract artistic stuff, you know, and she's just got it all. And I love seeing my mom, of course. But when I went over to see my mom and we sat to have coffee and talk tarot, she pulled out bags of decks that she was going to bestow upon me. So I've inherited quite a few. So you're going to see a couple more, well, several more flip throughs. I decided I think I should make a category called Cool Decks from My Mom, because you're going to see why. And it's just so cool. Look at that. That's where I was talking about the cups, teacups. And she's also put a keyword on the bottom of each card, just to kind of give you a reference point to kind of trigger, you know, the rest of all the meaning that's involved in the, or the complete meaning, I mean. I, again, have not read with them yet. I assume that will be helpful. You know, some of the things that stand out to me in a card in one reading versus another reading, you know, that's, I think, the intuition coming in and saying, pay attention to this or that aspect of the card. So I've kind of not been, you know, I never really gave too much attention, I guess, to the keywords because, although helpful, I kind of like to see what pops out at me first. That's just kind of my general feel. Definitely not something I, you know, hang my head on and insist upon, but it's kind of what I've found as I've expanded my tarot practice. You know, and the more you learn and the more you do, obviously you have, you know, different things that stand out to you or that speak to you more, that you're able to get more out of. And you learn that as you kind of learn about yourself. Every reader is different. There are standard meanings of the cards, of course, but each reader has their own style, has their own tap into the intuitive worlds, into the universe. So no two readers are going to be the same, but that's what's the beauty of tarot readers, you know. You can get a totally different interpretation, but yet still get just as much valuable information that you can act upon and, you know, take to heart so that you can make changes, make adjustments, and so forth. And, you know, things are changing all the time. The tarot tells us what the likelihood is given the current circumstances. I'm sure you've heard lots of tarot readers talk about how we do have free will. So we can make changes. And the tarot shows us what is likely to happen today based on the energy of this question. I don't know how I'm getting off on that tangent, to be honest. I don't even know what started that. But my point is, it's really interesting to see how other people, other readers, read and interpret and relay the information. I think as a reader myself, I pick up so much from that, and it helps me develop what I think and what I'm seeing. I get a lot out of watching other readers. I just think this deck is so cool. Another reader I like to watch quite a bit is Dr. Mystical. He's on YouTube. And this reminds me of something that Dr. Mystical would enjoy. Dr. Mystical, if you're watching, I would love to see your reaction. For those of you watching, if you have not seen Dr. Mystical, I would definitely encourage you to look him up online here. Got a lot of great videos, lots of live shows, and lots of tutorials. He's got a great community built. I've learned quite a bit from Dr. Mystical. Okay, we're nearing the end. As you've noticed, the watches in place of pentacles. Again, gives it that really cool Victorian feel. I really love vintage things. So this was especially exciting for me to get this deck. Clean. Okay. Alrighty. Well, that is Tarot of the Wyrd. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please check me out. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these quick peeks. I've got quite a few cool decks to show you. My live tarot reading, free tarot readings will start on July 1st, and will go every other Wednesday. It starts at 7:30 Central, and I hope you'll join me. And also, as always, thank you so much for watching. And if you have not already, hit subscribe.